Hey everybody, it's the Salty Pug Lord. How y'all been doing? Here in Colorado, we've had a lot of unexpected rain. It's unusual to have a lot of rain at the end of June, although not entirely unheard of, but the foliage is incredibly green, and we may have a very wet 4th of July, which is going to make the fire crews around here very happy, since sometimes Colorado forests catch on fire because people use firecrackers the wrong way. In any event, today I wanted to talk to you about something a little bit unusual. I promised somebody in a YouTube comment that I would talk about how it is that they could see purple laser beams being shot at me by an enemy mech in my most recent Ebon Jaguar video. So it's time to talk about something that maybe a lot of people don't know about in MWO, and that thing is mods. Yes, there are mods for MWO. Not very many, but they do exist. But before we can talk about mods, we need to talk about whether mods are technically allowed or not. Let me make this very clear. The PGI's TOS for MWO says you may not alter a single file of your client program at all in any way ever. Not for any reason. Okay? Mod, you are breaking TOS, and PGI could delete your account for it. So, apply mods at your own risk. Be careful about this. This is something that technically is not allowed. I've heard some maybe back-channel chat that PGI tends to look the other way if you're using mods that don't give you an unfair advantage and don't use any kind of copyrighted material. But nevertheless, I want to stress this. When you apply a mod, you are risking your account. So be very careful about applying mods, and be sure you understand the risk you are taking when you apply a mod to your MWO client. It is not allowed, and you are risking an account ban or deletion. Okay? So, briefly, let's talk about the most mods out there are sound mods. And Haven Kendrick in particular has an amazing sound mod that particularly the heavy Gauss rifles sound incredible in. So if you can apply that one, and if you don't do the crime if you can't do the time, right? But if you can withstand the idea of doing something that's technically against TOS, then that is a fantastic mod, and everybody who uses it loves it. There's another mod that I think is really fun for about a week, and then it gets kind of grating, but for the first week it's incredibly fun. There's a guy named Rack who ran a website called Rack's Armory, and he made a voice mod for the MWO Bitching Betty that was called MLG Betty. It was like a voice synthesizer, almost Stephen Hawking type of voice, but with a bunch of really hilarious things in place of the normal things that the Bitching Betty would say. But neither of those mods are the ones that I want to show you today. Instead, I want to show you a mod that was first made popular by Reddit. And let me show you this Reddit page over here. This is Mace Windu's Ebon Jaguar, which uses heavy large lasers, and the heavy large lasers, as you can see, are colored purple. And some wag, Talazin down here, says, "Hand me my neuro helmet. It's the one that says, bad motherfucker." So this is the mod that was made to make this purple heavy laser color happen. And in addition to purple heavy lasers, it also makes different colors for some of the other heavy lasers. And I'll give you the address of the mod in just a second, but first let me show you what it actually looks like in-game. So we're going to actually turn off the HUD, because I am right now in a Nova, and the cockpit is just a little bit intrusive for my liking. You can't really see. A lot of the lasers are mounted on the arms, and it makes it tough to see the colors of the beams. So let's zoom all the way in here, and first let's remove the HUD. Okay, now let's zoom all the way in to get as much of that HUD off as we can. So here's how the mod works. Clan ER micro lasers are pink, like this. And Clan heavy smalls are orange, like this. Clan heavy mediums are kind of a dark green turquoise color, like this. And finally, Clan heavy larges are purple. Alright, so there you go. That's really about as simple as the mod gets. That's what it does. And one more thing to note is that the mod actually doesn't just make your lasers that color, it also makes it so that when enemy mechs fire at you with heavy lasers, their laser beams will also be that color. My understanding is that it does this by actually modifying the material inside the CryEngine material properties. So everything is rendered on laser material, whether you're firing your lasers or the enemy are firing their lasers, the beam is made of a certain material and that material color is changed. Now, arguably, this mod gives you an unfair advantage as opposed to other people, because when other people see a heavy laser beam fire, they don't see a purple beam, they just see a regular blue beam. You see a purple beam, and so no matter how tiny the catch of that purple beam, you know that the person who fired at you is using heavy larges. That might tell you something about their optimal and their effective range. That might tell you something about how hot their mech is. And consequently, you might get an unfair advantage. I have gone to the PGI official forums and tried to advocate for this mod becoming an official part of MWO, because I really do believe that it does make the game more fun. And I think if everybody had it, then nobody would have an unfair advantage, but everybody would be having more fun. My thread asking for PGI to do this was shut down by one of the volunteer moderators. My post was deleted, and yeah, we can see where that's going to go. You know, PGI is not going to do that. I don't know why. This is a fantastic mod. It makes the game more fun, and although it does give people using it an unfair advantage, we could give it to everybody and then nobody would have an unfair advantage. So that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you about this particular mod. It's a heavy laser color mod, and let me pop over and show you where you can get it. Here's the URL right here, bit.ly 2o9 V54, and I will put that in the video description, so don't try and memorize it. But there's one more thing you need to know about this mod, is that because it does actually modify different files inside the client, inside the MWO client files, every time the MWO client gets patched, the mod's changes get overwritten. And so you have to rerun this runme.bat file every time MWO patches itself. Right after it patches, you rerun this runme.bat file and it remakes the changes. If you don't do that, then there will be certain screw-ups in the mech lab. Ranges may not be right, durations may not be right. So, yeah, that's the only thing you need to know about this. And that's all I wanted to say about this mod. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you are staying salty. And just for a little right at the end of things here, how about we turn on override? Wrong key. Override. We turn on override and we this alpha as many times in a row as we can before my mech completely blows up. And we'll dump it right into the back of this cataphract over here. And so you can see in the lower left, my Nova thing in the lower left shows absolutely no armor. For the purposes of this demonstration, I actually stripped all the armor off this Nova to give it more touch to fire lasers and have a few heat sinks with. So this is not a build I would want you to run in any kind of game ever. It is purely something for the testing grounds to demonstrate laser color mods. So let's start by taking this guy's leg, shall we? Alpha strike in 3, 2, 1. Boom! Critical. Oh! 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 There she goes!
Right torso.
Oh! Oh! Oh, that was a good time. That was a good time. Well, my friends, I hope you had a good time with that one. I hope your 4th of July goes great. And finally, let me ask you, if you have any strong feelings about what kind of videos I might make in the future. Would you like to see more builds? Would you like to see more gameplay? I think I've resolved my video editing software dilemma, and so I can probably do either of those without much of an issue. Or do you just want something else entirely from the channel? You know, I think I could happily continue doing build videos probably once a month from now until almost forever. But maybe you don't like those. Maybe you like stuff that's more like this. Maybe you like, more humor-oriented videos, like some of the stuff that, now that the beef isn't really in the scene so much anymore, yeah, PGI's bad decisions, balanced decisions, actually drove beef away. I'd love to be sort of the jester of MWO if that were possible. So anyway, if you guys have any strong feelings about you want build videos with or without gameplay, you want more videos like this, more meta stuff, let me know. Drop me a comment. There's only 20 subscribers, so there's probably not very many of you. Maybe you're just super happy with whatever I put up. If so, that's wonderful. But, if you have strong feelings, let me know, and I'll see if I can accommodate. All right? I hope you all are staying salty, and have a good one.